Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. It is Monday, November 8th, and you know what that means on Monday. That means we start off strong with Mr. Greg Dickerson. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Michael. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. Can you believe we've been doing this for almost 2 years together?
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, well, we've been doing it through the whole pandemic, and this thing's almost 2 years old. So it's kind of easy math. But yeah, we've been doing this almost over 100 weeks in a row. So thank you very
Wow,
much.
that's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I always enjoy our talks, and I think the listeners, get a lot out of it as well.
Yeah, the listeners really are inspired by your story. I still go back to Trucking a Toolbox. It was so valuable. I put it in my second book. But what I want to talk about today is kind of that station that I found myself in. Many people find themselves in today, and they're kind of desperate. So I wrote down. There was an article yesterday talking about millennials. Right, millennials own only 5% of the wealth in the economy. They feel hopeless. They feel they have student loan debt. They can't get anywhere. They, just the article was kind of like they should just give up. It was a very
Where
kind of one-sided article.
where was the article?
I don't remember where I found it. I have a bunch of notes from yesterday. I can go find it and I'll put it in the show notes. But basically, basically the gist of the article was the millennials are stuck, and I don't think anyone is stuck. I mean, when I started improving my journey, I had just lost 80% of my net worth, $150,000. Another one of my experts started his journey after getting divorced with 3 kids and finding out he's 90K in debt that he didn't know about. Another one of my experts dropped out of high school as a teenager. You left a full-time job to do something else. It is hard for everyone in the beginning, and having a mindset like you just can't do it. You got to change that first, I guess. Is that fair?
Well, you are exactly where you decide to be.
There you
So, I mean,
go.
that's just it. So, I've been there. I started out, I joined the Navy right out of high school. After I got out of the Navy, I bounced around in a number of jobs before I started my own company, doing a lot of what I had to do because I didn't have a college education. I didn't have a lot of options or choices. The only thing I knew was restaurants and construction, retail after the Navy. So I worked in those jobs. I always wanted to have my own business. I always wanted more, but I didn't know how to get it. So once I started learning and educating myself and, spending, every extra minute I had either working, like, so whenever I had a full-time job, I always had a side business,
Mhm.
something on the side where I was earning extra, building that up. And then finally, it came to a point to where I said, okay, I can step out on my own now and make a big enough business out of this to support myself and replace my income. So,
Mhm.
people are where they decide to be. They're exactly where they decide to be. So nobody is ever stuck anywhere. Now, obviously there's student loans and, things like that, that are very cumbersome nowadays just because of the cost of education versus, where it was years ago. But there's way more information out there now than there was 30 years ago when I graduated high school and started out. There's a lot more ways to start, side businesses and side hustles right now that you can earn an extra, 50 to $100,000 a year. I say extra, but you can earn, 50
Mhm.
to 100 grand a year on the side doing all kinds of different things from, we've talked about a lot of things, especially right now in this economy, from, being an Uber driver to being, Grubhub to, walking dogs, pet grooming,
Yeah.
house sitting, Airbnb, renting out different spaces. Those are just some things there. Then you get into the service, based economy in terms of, let's just say, online and you can't go anywhere and you can work out of your house and you're limited. Become a web designer, a graphic designer, a copywriter, video editor, podcast editor. I mean, you can make 100 grand a year just helping book people on podcasts. I
Yeah,
mean, that's a thing,
it
where you
is.
can charge, a couple, 2, 3, 5,000 a month to just, reach out to Michael Zuber and, hire him, have him hire you, as a service. You put the service out, he's one of your clients, and you just book him
Yeah.
on podcasts,
Yeah.
and things like that. You can do bookkeeping if you have those types of skills for people. You can do, administrative assisting, real estate transaction coordination. I mean, there's just so many different ways to make money online right now without having, computer programming skills or really having put yourself out there, that you can do in addition to a full-time job. So you can reduce those debts, pay them off, or build that up, to launch your business full-time. Social media management, just managing social media for people, running paid ads. You can educate yourself for free. There's, Facebook has, really good classes, Google, on how to run ads and do those types of things. So, I mean, there's just so many ways now that weren't even there when I was coming up, that you can make 50, 100, 200 grand a year and more, and still keep a full-time job.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I was hoping this would go, because again, I saw the article. I have a daughter who's a millennial. A lot of my followers are millennials. I interview millennials all the time on my show, and you kind of are where you think you are, right? If you think the world's against you, the mind is, I'm appreciating more and more as I talk to more and more folks. The mindset is so important. I didn't appreciate it for years because I just kept going that way, right? Up the hill, just kept head down, didn't look around. The superpower was underappreciated.
So let's talk about mindset. So mindset's two things. Okay. A lot of people think mindset is, power positive thinking. If I think it, I can do it, or I'm just going to manifest, mailbox money. No, mindset is whatever you set your mind on. So if you set your mind on something, on a thing, on a goal, you will achieve it. If you, whatever you focus on expands, and focus 100% of the game. The other thing mindset is, limiting beliefs, limitations. And that's not, some self-development, Tony Robbins walk on coal thing. What limiting beliefs are, anything you talk yourself out of. So when you have an idea that says, hey, I could go do this, I could start a dog grooming business. And then you're like, that's not going to work. Somebody said this, or my mom said that, or, I don't know how to do it. That's a limiting belief. So what you want to look at is, number one, understand that if you set your mind on something and you make up your mind, that's what you want to do. I quit smoking and lost weight at the same time, 80 pounds. I was 80 pounds overweight, and I was a lifelong smoker, a pack a day. And in 2004, I decided, I made up my mind. I set my mind on the fact that I am not going to gain weight, which is what happens when a lot of times when people quit smoking.
Oh yeah.
I was going to get healthy, lose weight, and quit smoking all at the same time. Bam, cold turkey. Yeah. I set my mind on the goal and the task. Everything else took care of itself, and I focused 100% on that goal. So yeah, mindset is huge, and limiting beliefs are, even more important to understand, how to get rid of that. And limiting beliefs are easy. Whatever it is you want to do, somebody's done it before you.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is go look at that. There's your proof that it can be done. And if any, what one person can do, another person can do. So there is, with a few exceptions, there's almost nothing that's unique that you can't do that other people are doing within reason. I mean, I'm not going to be Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or, something like that. You have those anomalies, Elon Musk, but in general, these other things we've talked about to get you unstuck, the difference is, what do you want to do with your time? Okay. Do you want to go educate yourself, figure out, learn, what it is that you don't know, because that's what it's all about. It's what you don't know, that makes the biggest difference. And actually, sometimes it's what you think that's not true, is the biggest issues, which is those limiting beliefs, are things you think that aren't actually true. And I hear them and encounter them every day with people I work with all over the world. And once you put that behind you, you can move forward, and you can unstuck yourself. So it's all a matter of, what do you do with your extra time? What are you willing to do, in terms of developing yourself, pouring in yourself, educating yourself, and then you got to get up and take action.
Yeah. For me, it's all about, there's really just two things, no matter what it is, whether it's getting healthy, better financial future, better relationships, better skills. Focus on what it is, and then do it every day.
Hardest thing to do in life is figure out what it is you want. Once you decide on that, the rest of it's easy. Yeah,
I totally agree. And again, I've talked to hundreds of people on this channel. All of them start in rough spots. I mean, again, losing 80% of your net worth, not fun. Finding out you have $90,000 and responsibility for 3 adult kids, not fun. Or teenage kids, not fun. Dropping out of school as a teenager, not fun. Focus and move forward, right? Stop looking. The reason the rear view mirror in a car is so small, stop looking backwards so much. Look forward, right? Own that. Go forward. You're not going backwards. So in time.
Yeah. And those things, like, a lot of people think, oh, it's too late. I've done too much bad, or made too many mistakes, or, those types of things. I mean, there really isn't you're never too far gone. It's never too late. any of that. I mean, those are all just learning experiences if you choose to take them and use them as learning experiences, and then make up your mind that you're going to do it the right way moving forward. And then look at who you surround yourself with in terms, of your network,
Yeah.
your family, everybody. You want to be with people that are positive, that are encouraging you, that are where you want to be, doing what it is you want to do, accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish or have accomplished. And then even what you pour into yourself, right? Input equals output. So whatever you pour into your mind, and I'm talking about what you listen to, what you watch, what you read, health, what you eat, whatever you consume, is what will manifest out in your life. So those are the things that you have to do to transform your life. And I mean, I was there, man. I was stuck. I had no training, no education. Nobody in my family were entrepreneurs. I was not pushed in any direction. I was the little knucklehead kid that made a bunch of bad decisions when I was young, and I paid for it. And there was a time in my life where I thought, I wanted my own business. I wanted to do things. And I thought it took money to make money. And I thought, man, these guys are lucky because of this or that, because I didn't know what I didn't know. And then when I started pouring the right information in my head, I realized, wait a minute, I don't have any limitations. I can do whatever I want to do, as long as I develop myself first and get out there and take action every day, even small action, one step, I mean, if you want to start losing weight, man, get out there and walk around the block, and then, go walk a half a mile, then go walk a mile. The key is really all it takes is a few seconds, right? To decide to make that change and change your life. When you wake up in the morning, you can make a split second decision. You're either going to hit that snooze button and go back to sleep, or you're going to get out of bed, make your bed, hit the showers. And it's going to hurt for a few seconds, especially when it's dark and cold and the covers are warm and it's raining. And you don't want to get up and go hit the pavement, okay, or go to the gym, or and I'm using that as an analogy, for whatever it is in your life. But, all you got to do is just make the decision. Okay, it's going to hurt for a second, but I'm going to get up. And once I'm up, I'll be fine. And once I get to the gym and I do one thing, then I get, then it starts flowing, and, everything else comes. Business works the same way.
Absolutely.
It seems like this huge thing, but once you do just one step towards that, it just gets easier and easier. And once you do that first deal, once you close that first deal, do that first, business, get your first customer, it just gets easier from there.
Yeah. And what I want to say here, folks, I talked about on the daily financial news, we have 53 days left in the year. It's hard to believe that 2021 is 53 days away from being done. A lot of you are going to create New Year's resolutions. What I challenged you this morning, don't do that. Do it today. Focus today. Figure out what it is. If you want to lose weight, start walking around the block. Do a half mile. Move. If you want to get better financially, figure out what you're spending. Figure out needs, wants. If you want to do real estate, do the work. Focus and do the work. I do not like hearing from people who just, oh, woe is me, this, that, the other thing. You've got to own where you are. You can't undo it. Nobody has an undo button, and decide to go forward. So, Greg, how can people follow you?
So before we do that,
Sure.
gregdickerson.com, that's where all my stuff is, easy to find. But on that note, it's not just this year. Think about, if the average person lives to be 90, right now, how many days is that? 90 times 365. That's 32,850 days. Okay.
Nice.
So I'm 54 right now. So if you take 90, minus 54 times 365, I've only got 13,140 days left. That's it. I've already burned, 20 something thousand days in my life that I'll never get back. I've got 13,000 left if I live to be 90, and then when you take that by the hours and look at how many hours you've burned and how many you have left, and by the minute, you start to realize, man, it's not just this year.
Yeah, right.
Every single day counts. Every minute and every hour of every single day counts. Make the most of it. Don't waste it. Don't burn it. If you're not where you want to be, make up your mind to change it and then do something about it.
Yeah, I could. That's a great way to close it. Thank you very much, Greg.